Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master chaos back with you once again. Today we finish a look back at my career in movies. This is Volume 3, and I'm very excited to have you here with me. I appreciate you allowing me to reminisce and all that good stuff. I feel like I'm in a giallo here, drinking some J&B. This is really good. It's a little gasoline-y, but I guess that's part of the fun. Today I'm going to focus on the last 4 films, or I should say the last 3 films that I had any input on. One in particular, the one we're going to begin with, the cliffhanger I left you with in Volume 2. It's a film that unfortunately never got made. It's one of my big disappointments in my career because stuff just sometimes doesn't work out the way you want it. And this is one of the hurdles of making movies, and it's not easy. It's rarely fun, to be honest. But for the most part, I'm happy I did it. I accomplished a dream, and that's very rare in one's life to be able to say that they've accomplished a dream. So, where I left you off was we were talking about A Magnificent Death from a Shattered Hand. Thomas Jane called. He wanted to have a meeting to discuss the script. So I go to his house in Silver Lake. If you remember Silver Lake, I went on a coffee tour there recently. I went there. We chatted about the script. It was kind of mind-blowing to me. This is the first celebrity I'm meeting, like a big A-list celebrity I'm meeting, because at the time he was on Hung on HBO. So he's a big A-list celebrity. It's the first time I'm meeting him, and we're talking about developing a project together. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was starstruck, all that stuff. Really nice guy, very down-to-earth, he's a very odd guy, in a good way. He's a very interesting fellow. So it was just interesting to be in his presence. Anyway, we shared a Guinness. Well, I should say, not that we shared a Guinness. He gave me one and he had his own. we didn't do, pass the bottle back and forth or whatever. And we talked Westerns for like 3 hours. We talked Leone, John Wayne. He's a big Western fan, so it was easy to sort of talk about the history of Westerns and kind of what we wanted to do. And ultimately, the meeting ended. I want to do this movie. I like the script. I like the concept. I want to be a part of it. I want to direct it. And I want to, produce it. Now, I was sort of under the impression that he was an actor who wanted to come on and maybe help me make the movie, but then I would direct it. But he early on said, no, I want to direct it. I want to direct it. So, all right. I mean, at this point, I don't got any mojo. He's got all the mojo. I let him... I let him have his directing hat. He had just made a movie, Dark Horizon, Dark something. I forget the name of the movie. I'll throw the poster up right here. That movie. And it was an interesting movie, really well shot. The ending doesn't make any sense, but it's just one of those Twilight Zone type of movies. Anyway, so we go into a whole bunch of rewrites. I go to 2 of his houses. I go to his birthday party. I was able to hang out with David Arquette and Ron Perlman. And of course, at the time, I did have my wife with me, so I wasn't alone, but I was too shy to go up to, David Arquette and say, hey, my God, I love Scream. You're so good in that movie. And shake his hand. I should have. I regret that. But I was I was shy. It was my first Hollywood party. I didn't even go up to Ron Perlman. He was just kind of sitting down, minding his own business. I should have just gone up and said, hey, I'm a big fan. What's up, man? But, do you even say I'm a big fan in those parties? I feel like that's weird. Maybe, hey, I admire your work. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't do that, so I regret that. But whatever. Anyway, spent about 2 years on it. I'm not going to belabor the story here. Spent about 2 years on it. Nothing happened. 2 years pass. Development falls through here and there. I have everybody in town that's Thomas's friend read my script. Frank Darabont read my script. Akiva Goldsman read my script. All these big names. Amazing that they got to read my words. That to me is a huge brain shock. Anyway, we had actors attached. Al Pacino was attached. Nick Nolte, Jeremy Irons. I mean, these are big, huge names that were attached to this picture. And I'm like, God, how is this not going to happen? This is going to happen. Holy crap, this is happening. Money people fell through. Production companies passed. Or production companies, something lapsed and this and that. And basically, it ended up disappearing. And Thomas just stopped contacting me. And then that was it. He went off to do a ton of Netflix movies or whatever, and that's it. Magnificent Death died. However, I did reach out to Thomas maybe 6 months ago and just brought it up to him. He said, I still want to make it. I started a production company. I'll see what happens. That's a project we definitely still want to do. So maybe there's life in it. I don't know. At this point, I'm not going to fight for it. I feel it's had its day, and it didn't work out. So after 3 years of developing one project that didn't go anywhere, I was at a point in my life, in my career, where I was like, man, I need work. I need money. So I went back to Asylum. So I knocked on Asylum's door and I said, hey, do you have anything? I'm looking for work. I'd love to team up with you guys again. They're always making movies. They were making one movie a month at that point, and so they always needed writers. They were always in development on something. So I said, what do you got? I'm available. I'd be interested in doing anything. That anything translated into Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. Of course, the next installment in their Mega Shark franchise, which is not as insane a franchise as their multi-headed shark movies. I believe they had a two-headed shark, and now they're up to six-headed shark. There may be more. I don't know. But they said, we're doing another Mega Shark movie. It's Mecha Shark. Would you be interested in that? And I love shark movies. For those of you who know me, and I might have mentioned it a couple times, I love shark movies. I love shark movies very much. The reason I don't go to the beach anymore is because of Jaws, and thankfully it's kept me safe. So thank you, Peter Benchley. I actually don't know if you're dead, but thank you. Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark was my shark movie. So even I got to accomplish a dream making a shark film. Is it great? Well, no, it's not great, but it's fun. And I had a wonderful time writing it. As a matter of fact, the first draft was the craziest first draft I'd ever written in my life. And I loved every minute of it. And I told my wife, I don't know if they're going to make this damn movie, but I love this script. Funny enough, they got close. They got pretty close to what I wrote. There's a part where the character jumps the shark with a motorcycle. It's really fun. It was a blast, honestly, to make this movie. And I got to work with Christopher Judge, who you might know as the character of Teal'c. He was Teal'c, I think that's how you pronounce it, on Stargate, the Stargate TV show with the one that MacGyver was in. Yeah, I believe it was that one. And really nice guy. He played our lead hero in this. Really nice dude. This is probably my most fun Asylum movie that I've written and had no creative control over. I actually got to really have fun with the dialogue, and they let me keep some of my lines. They normally like to make these movies dead serious, super serious. Like these are like a giant shark and a giant metal shark are the most serious, life-threatening world issues ever. And that doesn't make any sense to me because it's obviously a ridiculous concept. So I was able to inject some humor into this, and the director was okay with that as well. So I got to have some fun with the lines here, and the actors were game to have some fun. The one drawback I have about this movie is a lot of my drafts were notes from the producer saying it needs to be more sciencey, more science dialogue, more science jibber jabber. But I kept telling the audience doesn't give two fucks about science jibber jabber. That's not going to make it more believable that a giant shark and a giant robot shark are fighting each other. Jibber jabber is useless. It's useless. It just sounds goofy. And these movies are goofy already. You don't want to goofify them even more with some bullshit science dialogue that everybody knows is nonsense. This is a piece of styrofoam, as you can tell, but it was supposed to be a piece of wall that the Mecha Shark broke through. And I grabbed it from the set after we were done shooting, and I asked Chris Judge to sign it for me. And I've got sort of a Chris Judge autograph right there on this lovely piece of fake movie cement from the movie Mega Shark versus Mega Shark. Before we tackle the other films, let's do story time with Master Chaos. Now, yesterday, no one jumped on the trivia question until almost the last minute when I was shooting. George Lopez, somebody who has contributed to the story before, jumped right in and gave me the right answer. The movie quote was from Friday the 13th, and he got to come back to the story and provide the next bit of action. One of the bugs darted into Kate's mouth, and she instinctively bit off the head of the foul creature. Okay, so it looks like Kate is chowing down on some bugs here. What's going to happen next? Well, I'll tell ya. Kate spat the remains of the insect on the ground, leaving the taste of smoky meat in her mouth. Freaky stuff! Freaky stuff! Oh my god, what's gonna happen next? Are they going to face their doom, or will they survive to continue the rest of their vacation? It's up to you. Here is today's trivia question. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, but I'm all out of bubblegum. What movie is that from? Comment down below. Just as an FYI, I may not keep this going for much longer if there's not a giant interest from a wider variety of people. I don't want it to be the same people commenting here and there. So please, if you know the answer, comment down below and join the story. This is part of the fun. We should all benefit from adding our little bit of personality to the story. Anyway, back to the movies. After Mega Shark vs. Mega Shark, I was contacted by the asylum. They told me that they had a sequel in mind. And I thought, okay, a sequel to what? Believe it or not, it was a sequel to Hansel and Gretel. Now, I don't have a physical copy of this movie, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I said, okay, this is going to be great. I really love the cast of Hansel and Gretel. I could get to work with my friend Stephanie again, and Brent Lydick, who's a really nice actor, and we became friends after the film and worked on a web series together. A really good dude. And I thought, this would be great. I'd love to do a sequel. And we met with the producers. I met with Anthony, the original director, and he was not going to be able to direct it because he was busy with the Sharknado films at the time. And so I said, well, let me direct it. Let me direct it. That makes the most sense, right? The writer of the first one, the writer of the second one. Let me direct it. I would love to direct it. Guess what? I didn't direct it. And that was another blow. This was the movie that really severed my ties with Asylum, only because I felt that there was sort of a massive lack of respect and a real disinterest for having me around. And I didn't understand why. I'm unproducible, so I'll write it. I'll write it. And I wrote a script that I really liked. The casting people decided to recast Gretel. I know Stephanie had issues with the asylum as well. She just didn't want to deal with it, so she didn't come back as Gretel, unfortunately. Brent, however, seemed fine to come back. So Brent is back as Hansel, which is great. He does a really good job in the movie, to be honest. He's really good. And the girl they cast as Gretel is fine. She does a good job. I don't think she's as nuanced as Stephanie would have been with the role, but it's neither here nor there. And the worst part is, I was talking to the line producer, and I'm like, hey, let me know when you guys are shooting. I'd love to come on set and hang out and just see you guys shoot. And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. I never got an email. I never got any info. I now would email them, hey, when are you guys shooting? I'd love to come out. Nothing. Nobody contacted. I even asked Brent, hey, Brent, tell them I want to come on set, and just watch. I just want to be there with everybody. And he did. He goes, yeah, I told them, and they said they'd contact you. They never did. So I wasn't even invited to the set, which hurt a lot. And I didn't understand why, especially having such a history with Asylum, I was being so mistreated. This was the best way to describe it. Really just kind of set aside like I was a third-class passenger on the Titanic or something. And, I wrote the damn thing. This is as much my movie as anyone else. I just want to be there. I just want to enjoy it with everyone else. What am I going to do? I'm not going to shut production down. I'm not going to take a shit on the camera. Regardless, Hansel versus Gretel, it was the final title for the film, went off without me. I wrote the script, and I enjoyed the script, and I had fun with it. Luckily, they kept a lot of the weird stuff in it. But ultimately, it's bittersweet for me, because it was the one that made me realize, you know what? They don't care about me here. They don't care about me here. This isn't nurturing. This isn't a creative environment I want to be a part of. And I stepped away. I stepped away from Asylum, and I'll never go back. I've thought about it. When I needed work and money and things like that. I've thought about it. But then I keep remembering, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The stress, the struggle, the lack of respect, the lack of time, it's just not worth it. Luckily enough, I had made a friend at the asylum, starting all the way back in Whaley House. He was, at the time, working with the casting people. He was a casting assistant. And we became very good friends. We had a lot in common. His brother was also there. Became friends with him. They were twins. And his brother was an editor at Asylum. really, really nice dudes, really, really nice, friendly guys. And the casting guy was in Whaley House. He's actually he's the first guy to die. And after I left Asylum, we kept in touch, and he came into some money, and I invited him over for a movie night, just hanging out, and we watched the movie Compulsion. Amazing, amazing movie. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch Compulsion. Dean Stockwell and Orson Welles. It's fantastic, fantastic movie. Anyway, I said, I want to do something like this. I want to take this story, the Leopold and Loeb case, and modernize it. I think that would make a really interesting movie. And he says, okay, go ahead and do it, and we'll make a movie. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, I've got the money, and I want to make a movie, and I told him before this, I said, I want you to star as, I'd make them brothers, and I want you to be one of the brothers, in the film. And he goes, okay, yeah, I'll pay for it. So that fell in my lap. And before long, I had plunged into the script for a film that I was going to call The Divine Tragedies. A beautiful, grim little film about two brothers who are disconnected from life and find that they consider the most important thing in life to be crafting the perfect murder. Now you're wondering why the DVD says Blood Brothers and not Divine Tragedies. Well, I'll tell you. There were some issues in post-production. I'm not going to go into much of it, but I'll eventually touch on it. Anyway, I wrote the script, met with them again. We had a read-through with some actor friends, and they loved it. It was really fun. It was kind of a David Lynch meets Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer by way of more of a polished American Psycho aesthetic. And it was the Leopold and Loeb case, but instead of being gay lovers, they were brothers. And sort of a nuanced character piece serial killer movie. This is one I highly recommend you watch, though. It's really, I think it came out pretty well despite all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans. We went into production pretty fast. We were able to cast some really amazing people in this. Ken Foree plays our detective hero who's trying to track down the killers. We also have Barbara Crampton, the amazing, wonderful Barbara Crampton here, playing the mother of the brothers. And, the amazing Sean Whalen is also in this. Sean Whalen kicks ass, and he had so much more footage that we had to cut down. I mean, the original running time for the film, the first cut of the movie was 2 hours, and it was long, and we were going to keep it at 2 hours because I felt that it really, was the perfect version of the movie. And there is a director's cut of Blood Brothers if you guys are interested in watching it. I may give out that Vimeo link. Also, Lynn Lowry returns from her work with me on The Haunting of Whaley House. She plays a smaller part here. She had more lines, but we had to cut it down, unfortunately. But she was great. It wasn't a huge part, but she came and she did it, and she added her magic to the movie, and I'm very grateful for her to be a part of the film. Everything went well with filming. I had a wonderful, magical filming experience, and I was thinking, man, this is just as good as Monster Man. And then we got into post. In post, unfortunately, after we had locked the picture, the producers decided to take the movie away from me and re-edit it and reshoot scenes with another director. And what wounded me the most was they never told me this was happening. And to add insult to injury, they hired the director DP who had taken Hansel versus Gretel from me. So, and that stung even worse. That stung even worse to me. Because I felt like we were partners, we were friends, we'd gone to each other's birthday parties, we hung out with each other's families. For them to go and backstab me, that really hurt. That really killed me. And this was the movie that I credit for being the one to signal my death knell in the film industry. After this, I fell into a deep depression for about 2 years, and I said, I'm done. I can't do this again. This is horrible, awful. It's not worth it. However, this movie did get to go to theaters. So another dream accomplished. I got a movie to play in theaters. I mean, I only played in 2 theaters, but still, that's amazing. I got a theatrically released movie. Check another thing off the list. The movie came out. It came out to DVD. It was in Walmart. It was in stores. I was excited to see it. Another checklist piece of the puzzle. But at the end of the day, it didn't really move the needle for me creative-wise or career-wise. It didn't necessarily get me a job and it didn't really help me one way or the other. Anyway, I got to work with one of my very good friends on this. I haven't mentioned him yet, Graham Denman. He plays one of the brothers. He's definitely the stronger actor in the film of the brothers, and he just does a wonderful, wonderful, amazing, magnetic job with the film. And I've worked with him since Whaley House. He was in my Whaley House film, and he was also in my next film, my last film, which I'll talk about in a moment. He's one of my favorite actors to work with, and I'm so thankful that I was able to use his talent, and he was able to lend me his talent for this film. And he really shines in this film, and I'm surprised he didn't get more work. But that's unfortunately the nature of the business. Even the more talented people just sometimes don't get seen, and that's heartbreaking. If you're interested, this is probably a film I would recommend. I'd say start with Whaley House, and then Blood Brothers, I think, is a good watch. Even though they had to cut the film down without my approval, and they added nudity, which is of course the old producer trick of adding nudity. And to me, it just kind of perverts the movie. It makes it very it makes the movie sleazier, and this wasn't a sleazy movie. When you see it, you know what I mean. I didn't attempt a sleazy movie. I wanted to make a very polished, sophisticated, clean-cut movie, so that when it gets gory and violent, it's shocking because it's so outside of the aesthetic of the film. This heartache, of course, caused me to reassess my career and decide what I wanted to do. Did I want to give up? Did I want to move forward? It was a difficult decision, and part of me just wanted to just give up. But I realized the only times I'd really had a great time was the movies I made all on my own. Despite the trials and tribulations of trying to get Corpses Are Forever distributed, Monster Man and Corpses Are Forever were my most favorite filmmaking experiences. Then I saw a little film called Room 237, in where various people discuss the hidden messages of the film The Shining. I'm sure you've seen it, I'm sure you know it, it's a very popular film, but I remember watching the film and turning to my wife and saying, wouldn't it be funny if somebody did that, but for like a crappy movie, like say Plan 9 from Outer Space. There it is. That is my last film, Unspeakable Horrors, The Plan 9 Conspiracy. Now, I don't have a physical copy of this movie because it was never released on physical media. Maybe I should send it to Vinegar Syndrome or Severin and see if they'd be interested in picking it up. It's sort of right up their alley. It's essentially a mockbuster about a group of would-be experts that come together to discuss the hidden meanings of Plan 9 from Outer Space. The caveat here is I wasn't just doing talking head, random fans. I wanted to go to the source and bring in real Hollywood experts and have them tell me the real hidden meanings of Plan 9. Of course, it was all fake and all tongue-in-cheek, but I wanted to sell it as a true-to-life documentary. I was lucky enough to get a wonderful assortment of Hollywood filmmakers to help me tell this true story. And they would be Mick Garris, who's probably most known for directing the Stand miniseries. Tom Holland, of course, the director of Child's Play and Fright Night. The amazing and gregarious Bill Lustig, of course, the director of Maniac and Maniac Cop and a whole bunch of stuff. He runs Blue Underground now. Joe Dante. Everybody knows Joe Dante, but for those of you who don't, he directed Gremlins 1 and 2, Matinee, Inner Space. The guy's amazing. I also got to interview Larry Karaszewski and Scott Alexander, who were the screenwriters of the Tim Burton movie Ed Wood. There are a ton of other celebrities I'm not going to talk about now. You'll see them when you watch the film. I'm going to provide for you a link down below in the description for you to watch Unspeakable Horrors, The Plan 9 Conspiracy, completely for free. It is on Amazon Prime. So if you have some time this weekend or whenever you're watching this, if you want to watch something funny, something in the vein of a mockumentary about Hollywood with a couple of really wonderful and witty Hollywood filmmakers hamming it up and doing their best acting to sell the fact that Ed Wood was a secret genius, then I highly recommend Unspeakable Horrors, The Plan 9 Conspiracy. This was a golden project. It's kind of a wonderful project to go out on, to be honest. I worked on it with my wife. She was my producer and my editor, and it was basically just her and I. I went out, I did the interviews with my camera, the ones that aren't the famous filmmaker celebrities. We shot that in my garage. It was very grassroots, homespun type of project, like the first two films I made. So it was sort of like coming full circle in a way, making something on my own, complete control over it, yada yada yada, having a lot of fun with that. And the film is wonderful. I think that, even though I speak for myself, it's a wonderful, really happy film. It's very joyful, it's very silly, it's very goofy. It's designed to make you laugh. It's designed to make you bust a gut. And I hope you do. I hope when you do watch it, you enjoy the hell out of it. If you do, please let me know in the comments what you thought, because it is essentially my last film. I've stepped away from Hollywood, for those of you who don't know. I'm done. I'm done. I'm taking my toys home and playing by myself. And that's essentially what I'm doing now on YouTube. However, I'm not alone, because you're here. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you do, I'll see you again. This is a daily show. So subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Because you know what? It was really nice meeting you tonight. And well, I'd like to see you again tomorrow. I've got more to share with you. I'm headed to Big Bear. I'm headed to Big Bear for the Labor Day weekend. So the next few physical media exercise daily vlogs are going to be up in the mountains. We're going to have some fun. We're going to go thrift shopping for VHS and hunt for Bigfoot. If you're old here, you know the drill. You are the ice cube in my whiskey. Well, pal, that's my career. Those are the films I've made. I think if I were to look back, the films I'm most proud of are Monster Man, Corpses Are Forever, and Whaley House, and the Plan 9 Conspiracy. Those are the 4 films that I think are perfect Master Chaos movies. Perfect iterations of the ideas in my head. Blood Brothers, I hate to count it out, but it's so bitter a memory for me, still fairly fresh, that I can't necessarily call it the perfect Master Chaos experience. I do hope you'll enjoy Unspeakable Horrors when you get a chance to check it out. I'm going to leave links down below for the movies I've talked about. If you want to pick up Blood Brothers and the Mecha Shark movie, then please do, by all means. And if you do, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. I'm very curious. Honestly, looking back on it, I don't regret stepping away. Was it worth it to make a dream come true? Yeah, I made my dream come true. I don't need to keep making it come true. I'm good. I'm very happy. And now I'm going to focus on my books. I'm going to focus on YouTube. I'm going to focus on you, my friend. And, well, that makes me happy. I'm not going to lay down and die. I'm not dead yet. I've only begun to fight. But this time, I choose the arena. Okay, pal. I hope this video has found you happy, healthy, and well. Until we meet again, I wish you a very pleasant good day, good evening, or, well, good night, wherever you are. And remember, I remain to be continued.